This video will show you an example on file to string transformer in Mule ESB. It will also show you a practical implementation, how it works step by step. So before moving to the example, we would like to know what is Mule ESB. Mule ESB is a lightweight Java-based enterprise service bus and integration platform that allows developers to connect applications together quickly and easily, enabling them to exchange data. We would like to know also file to string transformer. What is that? So file to string element configures a transformer that reads the contents of java.io.file into a java.lang.string. Now we will create an example on file to string transformer. So for creating an example on file to string transformer, we need to have some prerequisites like JDK, Maven, Mule Studio and Mule Server. So if you download Mule Studio, then Mule Server comes with the bundle, so you don't need to download it separately. You can download Maven from www.maven.apache.org. You can download Mule from www.mulesoft.org, and you can download JDK from www.oracle.com. Now we will see how to create an example. So open your Mule Studio and go to the file, then new, then click on Mule project. So once the pop-up window comes up, then you need to give some input fields. Give a project name, like we'll give here file to string. Then we have to select runtime. We can select Mule Server Community Edition for local. We can also select the Cloud Hub Mule runtime, that is remote. We can select also Mule Server Enterprise Edition, that is E. So we'll select here C, that is Community Edition. Now we have to configure the Maven settings. So for that we need to give group ID. Group ID is like domain name. So I have a domain name here, webtudes.in, so I have given like in.webtudes. Then we have to give artifacts ID. This artifact ID is automatically populated when we give the project name here, so we don't need to change this name. We will accept the default. You can also give your as per your choice. Okay, version is also populated. You can also change this version, but we will accept your default. Then click on next, then use default location or whatever location you wish to use. You can select here, you can uncheck, and you can browse here, then select the location wherever you want to save the file or application. So I'll accept the default location here. Then we'll use the JRE, that is a Java runtime environment. You can use as per your choice. There are several JDK versions, so I'm having JDK 1.6, so I'll use here Java AC 1.6. Now we don't have to select any other things here, so we'll click on finish. Now once we click the finish button, the project structures get created in the Mule Studio, and also we got the default flow file, that is file to string. The name is same as the project name. So you can also create another Mule flow file if you need, but we will work with the default Mule file flow. Now if you want to create another Mule flow file, then you do right click on this flows, then new, then mule flow. You have to give name here, whatever you type name here, the file name gets automatically populated here with the extension mflow. You can also give the optional description here. Okay, so for the time being we'll cancel it and we'll work with the default mule flow file. So for file to string transformer, we have to use different components from this right pane, the required components or elements, whatever you say. So for this we have to drag and drop the elements from this right pane. We just need to drag from here and drop this flow file. Now we'll drag this file endpoint and drop it on the flow file. So this file endpoint shows some squared red mark, so it means that there is a required field which need to be filled. Okay, so before that we'll rename this flow name. So just edit this here and just rename it. You see there are several settings like initial state, started, stop, so we will not consider these things, but we will just keep it simple. Now we will click on this file endpoint and we will see what is the required field. So required field is shown here using the red mark. This element must have all attributes for on-off sets, either path or address or ref. So we have to give path here or address or reference. So path is the directory, source directory from where the file will be read by Mule. So once the file is put into the directory, Mule will automatically read that file from that directory. So there is polling frequency 1000 milliseconds. So per 1000 milliseconds Mule will poll that directory, and if any file exists in that directory, Mule will read from that directory. Okay, so I will select the path. So you can select any source directory where you want to put the file. I will select the path, Mule project, then files, then file to string, because I will put a file in this directory, and from this directory Mule will read that file. So click on OK. Now we see there are no errors, so required field is fulfilled. Now we will save this thing. Now we need to file to string transformer, because we are going to show you an example of file to string transformer, how to use that file to string transformer. So for that we will drag the file to string transformer from right pane and drop it onto the Mule flow. So this is the file to string transformer. What is it? The file to string transformer reads the contents of a java.io.file into a java.lang.string. So we'll just drag and drop onto the pane. So now file to string transformer is here, and we see there is no required field, but still we will see what are the properties for this. So you see here there is no required field, so it shows that there are no errors. So display name is this, you can change if you wish. Return class, if you want to custom transformer, then you can use custom class, you can write custom class and you can use it here. Encoding, there are several encoding. As you see, you can select any one of them if you wish, otherwise it will take UTF-8 default. Okay, you have also MIME type. So what are the MIME type? You know already, the file type, Okay, so there are different or several file types. How it should be, you can use any one of them, but we will not use here because we will accept the default. Okay, so then save it. Now whatever file to string has got from its previous step or previous step in the flow, we have to show that thing in the console. So for that you can also save it to a file, but I will show it here in the console. So for that I will use components, that is logger. So we know what logger does actually. Logger just logs the message or errors or whatever information is there, it logs into the console, or we can also log that into the file. So we'll just log that info into the console here. So here also we don't see any required field for the logger. Okay. So display name is logger, you can change as you wish. Message, what message does. If you click on this field and then you will get an eye icon. If you hover on this eye icon, you will get what it does actually. Okay, you can also set the logger level, as you know, if you use in Java application. Okay, so info, warn, error, debug, trace. So we'll select it here, info, that is default. You can also give the category, what category does, you know. So now we have finished the flows for this file to string flow. So first one is file endpoint, which reads the file from a source directory. Then we have file to string transformer, which transform file object into string. Then we'll display the file string or file content into the console. For that we have used logger. So we need to show the file information or file content into the console. For that we need to do something in the logger. For that we'll click on this logger and we'll use Mule's built-in EL expression here. So Mule built-in EL expression, like we have message. So for that we have several properties like payload or something like that. We'll see what are the properties. But what is a message? Message is the data that passes through an application via one or more flows. Message contains two things. One is header, which contains metadata about message, and another one is payload, which contains business specific data. So we'll use here EL expression. How to write that EL expression? So first we have to type hash, then we have bracket, then we get this message, then we'll type dot or period, then we'll get several properties. So we'll use here payload, which will display our file content. Then we close the bracket. Now we have to save everything. So if we go to the problems tab, we don't have any problems. Now everything is finished. Now we'll run the application. For that we'll just right click on the application and run as Mule application, or we can also right click on the flow file and we can run as Mule application. Whatever way you can choose. So click on this, you will see several dependencies are there. Once the application runs, then it's gives this message. So Mule has already read that file from the source directory. If you see, welcome to Mule ESB test content for file to string transformer, because I have already put that file in that source directory. So that's all. Thank you.